Well, our plan is to continue to invest for the long term and to do that as long as it seems to make sense.
If you really want to be successful, you're going to do some things that are going to really make you uncomfortable. You're going to have to change as a person in order to really achieve your dreams. You can't stay stagnant and not do anything if you're truly committed to achieving your dreams and going after your goals relentlessly.
I think of it as a gold standard culture for innovation and pioneering work.
It's not going to be easy. It's going to be tough because you're going to have to change and you're going to have to learn new things and you're going to have to do some things you're used to completely differently and get rid of some things as well. But it's all going to be worth it once you become successful and you finally reach your goal and achieve your dreams.
If I have a new idea that I am in love with and I want to see it pursued, I do have to build support for it, just like anybody would.
One of the most powerful things you can do is give yourself more time. The most successful people in the world all have 24 hours, just like you and me. Oprah Winfrey, Jeff Bezos, Tom Brady, they all have 24 hours in a day. But how they use those 24 hours is incredibly vital. They use their time throughout their day to make themselves better and further their life and become more successful each and every day. Yet they only have 24 hours. So what do? They wake up earlier. They stay up later. It's going to be tough. You're going to be a little tired now and then.
At Amazon, we still take risks all the time and we encourage it and we talk about failure. We should be failing. Our failures have to grow with the company.
But it's going to be worth it because you're going to constantly be building upon yourself and growing and learning and getting all this information. And step by step, you're going to be ever so much closer to doing what you want to do for the rest of your life, being happy and loving it, all because you decided to change for the better.
And I think it's because both sides of my life give me energy. And that's what I would recommend. That's what I do recommend to interns and execs.
One of the precursors, one of the foundational things to being able to take risks, some kind of support from somebody. You have to have some mentors. You have to have somebody who loves you. These are the kind of things that build up and allow you, jump off into uncharted terrain and do something new because you have a support system of one kind or another. I've won a lot of lotteries. Amazon is one of the lotteries that I've won, but I had a big lottery with my parents. My dad is a Cuban immigrant. He came here when he was 16 years old, didn't speak any English. And my mother had me when she was 17 years old. So she was a pregnant 16-year-old in Albuquerque, New Mexico in high school, which was not cool. She made it work, and her parents, my grandparents, helped her with that whole thing and made that all work. And if you don't get that kind of support somehow, it doesn't have to be your parents. Sometimes people get lucky. It's a grandparent or it's a friend or a family friend or a teacher. It can be somebody, but you need that. Somebody has to step into your life. And that's a lottery that I suspect a lot of people in this room have also won, just like me.
One of my jobs as the leader of Amazon is to encourage people to be bold. And people love to focus on things that aren't yet working. And that's good, it's human nature. That kind of divine discontent can be very helpful. But you really, it's incredibly hard to get people to take bold bets. And you need to encourage that. And if you're gonna take bold bets, they're gonna be experiments. And if they're experiments, you don't know ahead of time whether they're gonna work. Experiments are by their very nature prone to failure. But a few big successes compensate for dozens and dozens of things that didn't work. Literally billions of dollars of failures. You might remember pets.com or Cosmo. None of those things are fun, but they don't matter. What really matters is companies that don't continue to experiment, companies that don't embrace failure, they eventually get in a desperate position. The only thing they can do is make a kind of Hail Mary bet at the very end of their corporate existence.
For me, the thing I worry about the most is that we would lose our way in one of those things, that we would lose our obsessive focus on customers, or would somehow become short-term oriented, or start to become overly cautious, kind of failure averse, and therefore unable to invent and pioneer. You cannot invent and pioneer if you cannot accept failure. So when you have that kind of asymmetric payoff, it encourages you to experiment more. It's the right business decision to experiment more. It's also better for your customers. Customers like the successful experiments. By the way, this is a giant misconception in a lot of young entrepreneurs, inexperienced entrepreneurs that they meet. One of the things that is very fashionable right now is to talk about how disruptive their business plan is going to be. The invention is not disruptive, only customer adoption. At Amazon, we've invented a lot of things that customers did not care about at all. And believe me, they were not disruptive to anyone. For me, again, this is one of those things where, I focus on and ask our teams to focus on what we can control. And I expect, whether it's, the current US administration or any other government agency anywhere in the world, Amazon is now a large corporation. And I expect us to be scrutinized, should be scrutinized and examined. It's reasonable. All I can do is really my thought process was, and I was not looking to buy a newspaper. Even crossed my mind. So when the opportunity came up, is somebody who knows something more about the internet. Post was very difficult financial position at that time. And so for me, I had to decide, was it hopeless? And I didn't believe it was hope. I was optimistic that the Post could be turned around. Second, I had to decide, did I want to put my own time and energy into this? And that for me, I just had to ask the simple question, is it an important institution? And the answer to that question is yes. It was very obvious to me as soon as I thought about it that way. It's like, okay, I think I actually can help. I can help in two ways. I can provide financial resources while this turnaround occurs, and I can also help with my internet knowledge.